So there was an interview that happened today, and this is probably one of the most legendary interviews that has happened in recent time. And that is the fact that Nick Fuentes, who is arguably like the #1 like rising person in popularity of when it comes to any like political commentary person, okay? When the Groyper movement has just climbed exponentially in the year 2025. Like, before then, Nick Fuentes was very well known, okay? He was, but his following was very small, right? But in this year, it has just skyrocketed to just the next level. And he now went on Piers Morgan. And during this interview, a lot of people probably thought, and Piers also probably thought, is that it's going to be like any other interview of when it comes to a lot of these controversial figures, okay? Because when it comes to a lot of people who say a lot of stuff, you know, especially when it's very unhinged things, because whether you like Nick Fuentes or not, okay, you have to admit some of the things that he says is extremely unhinged. And that's one of the reasons why people love him so much, is because a lot of the things that he says that are unhinged, a lot of other people are thinking. But when it comes to Piers, he's probably going like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like repeat some of these things that Nick Fuentes said on stream or said during this or during that. And then it's gonna be a gotcha moment where then it's gonna put him in a corner and he's gonna go like, oh no, this is not actually what I meant by this. It's actually this. But no, Nick Fuentes, it just goes to show of how much this man does not give a single shit, and everything that he says, he believes.
This is where you talk about Jews, women, and blacks. Let's just take a listen.
They're always coming up with, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it fucking isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the fuck up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple.
Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, you can see it. You can see it in Nick's face. He's watching back the clip. And he's just like, and Piers is probably like, oh yeah, we're going to show this clip of how, you know, Nick is talking about how Jews rule the world. Black should be in prison and every single woman should shut up. And then, oh, it's going to be a gotcha moment where Nick's going to go, oh no, this is actually what I meant. And then Piers is going to try and jump on him and cut him off and all that kind of shit. No, Nick just doesn't care. He just doesn't give a shit, because a lot of these tactics that like these interviewers use are just old tactics, because people have stopped giving a shit. People have stopped. And the reason for that is because the world got to the point where it was too sensitive to say a lot of the things that people were actually thinking. And a lot of the statistics that were out there of when it came to, like, you know, who commits the most crime per capita and who does this. Now, obviously, Nick does it to, like, he just doesn't muddy the waters at all. He doesn't just say things by the statistics. He just goes to that next level. And you would still think that with that Piers would then jump on him or Nick would pull back on it. He just doesn't care. This man is just like, yep, this is true. Everything black should be in prison and women should shut the fuck up and Jews run the whole world. And I don't give a shit. Everything I say, I back it up and I mean what I say. And that's why people love him. That's why people fucking love Nick Fuentes. And even with this next one, where Piers is trying to do a gotcha and trying to basically diminish Nick of when it comes to, you know, the fact that he's never had sex with women before, and how even though he's still straight, but he shits on women all the time, Nick's just like, yeah, I'm still straight. I've never slept with women, but they're still very difficult to be around.
But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay?
No. But I will say that women are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So there's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
I do not. No, absolutely not.
They should stay at home?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So basically, you're just a misogynist old dinosaur, aren't you? For a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm the boomer. I know I'm the boomer here, but actually, you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Aren't you, Nick Fuentes? All women.
I am.
All women are annoying. All women grow old. They all get fat. Says the guy. Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow, says the guy who's never got laid.
And the whole thing about that as well is that I always find it weird of when it comes to the gotcha of trying to get men, of when it comes to the fact that they've never slept with women before. Especially people like Nick who are definitely very religious. A lot of these people where even if they did have a girlfriend, they would still be wanting to wait till marriage because that is their values that they have. Like they want to wait to sleep with someone for the first time. So they're fine with being a virgin, especially in this day and age. Like maybe a few years ago, you could definitely get someone on that. But now the way that the culture has shifted and the way that, you know, there's more of a limelight and there's more, you know, positivity of when it comes to being celibate until marriage, especially when it comes to people who have religious beliefs, especially in the Christianity world as well, is that people don't care. If anything, people will probably see Nick as saying like, yeah, I've never had sex with women before. You know what that's going to do? That's not going to diminish his popularity. If anything, that will actually grow his popularity. The funniest one, okay, one of the funniest clips. I'm going to show a couple more. Before I show the last one of where the show ended, is that Nick Fuentes, this is the level, and this is one of the reasons why people love him. He just comes out on TV and says the fucking N-word like it's nothing.
So how do they feel when you say you just want to be away from any black people, walk away from them?
Well, you know what Ye told me? I'll tell you verbatim what he said. He said, so you use the N-word. I said, yeah. He goes, well, when niggas are being niggas. I said, so true. That's so true. So they feel like they're in complete agreement with me.
What does that mean?
It means that even black people know how black people can behave. Even black people understand it.
Like, I've even seen black people on the internet respect Nick Fuentes because he just comes out and says it. It's like that clip from Family Guy where fucking Peter Griffin just goes out into the middle. Remember, it's like the world's ending or whatever. He goes out into the middle of like a gang affiliated street in New York. I think it's like Brooklyn or whatever. And then he comes back and he's like, he has that sash where it's like the king of blacks or whatever it is. And they respected him. That's literally what happens with Nick Fuentes, with a lot of people on the internet. I've seen it. I've seen black people just go like, hey, I respect this man because he just fucking says shit. And he just does not care. But the way that the show ended is that you could definitely tell in the way of Pierce's face, where Nick is just smiling and Piers looks defeated, where Piers thinks that he's done a great interview. And Nick's just like, hey, you think you're the only motherfucker that has done this interview with me, trying to do all these gotchas and showing these clips? This happens all the time.
I think we've got a lot nearer to what the real Nick Fuentes is in the last 2 hours than we probably have seen from your other recent interviews. Would you agree?
No, I mean, the clip thing, we've done the clip thing. We've all seen the clip show. Everyone's seen the clips. You think you're the first one to do the ADL rap sheet. So here you said this, and then here you said that. I've been playing that game for 10 years. So this is honestly more of the same, to tell you the truth.
It's true. Every single time that Nick's gotten interviewed with people that, you know, oppose him in any way possible, that's what happens. That's what happens. They show these clips, they try to do these gotchas, and this man, once again, this is the reason why people like him, is because he just fucking doubles down on it. And obviously, when it came to this, I showed like just some small clips, but then there was also like long tangents that they went on as well, where Nick Fuentes was trying to educate Piers Morgan of when it came to crime statistics for like 6 minutes straight. I watched the whole 6 minutes of that. It was absolutely fucking hilarious, and it's like really true. And once again, is that when it came to this, is that they're trying to muddy the waters of when it came to the statistics, and Piers is trying to, you know, like turn of what Nick is saying into something else, and Nick's trying to bring Piers back into like, no, this is what I'm saying. Why are you trying to turn it into this? And once again, this is one of the reasons why people hate mainstream media, why they don't like people like Piers Morgan, and why people like Nick Fuentes. It's the reasons why. It's because Nick is like, I'm saying this and this, and then Piers is trying to push it into something else and try to say, oh no, this is actually this. It's just like, that's not what the man was saying. He was talking about this statistic of when it came to white people who become school shooters, and how that's a very low percentage per capita, but then black violent crime offenders is like very high per capita. And they're just trying to, like, you know, skew all these statistics to make it look worse on, you know, when it came to white people committing school shootings than black violent crimes. This whole entire interview was absolutely fucking hilarious. It's great. And if Piers Morgan thought that getting Nick Fuentes on the show and trying to do these gotcha moments was going to lower his popularity, I think that when it comes to Nick, is that the reason why he's so many places try to censor him is because they know that what he says works, and that no matter what he says, because of the way he says it, because of the fact that he doubles down on everything he says, and a lot of the times when it comes to things that he says, like this last part of when I was like, he was talking about crime statistics for 6 minutes, is that he's actually backing it up with statistics and truth as well, is that he looks at the facts of these. And that's one of the reasons why his popularity has grown so much, and one of the reasons why people love Nick Fuentes so much. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. What did you think of the clips that I showed? Did you watch the whole entire interview? Definitely like to hear about that all below. It's going to be it from me. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.